Hi everyone, it's me again, Kirsty. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. In this video I'm setting up my new bullet journal for the rest of this calendar year. I almost ran out of pages of my current bullet journal that I just kicked out of the frame with my new one. This is a very simple black journal from Stationery Island. I got this from Amazon. And yeah, maybe I'll tell you a bit more about this journal in a minute. I decorated it myself on the front with a little sticker that I made myself from something that I painted a while ago. And I really loved how that came out, and I just scanned it in and then printed it out a little smaller so that it would fit very nicely onto the cover of my notebook and it wouldn't look too plain. And it's very much personalized this way and makes me very happy. It didn't have a "This book belongs to" page, so I added one myself and added my name and this cute sticker from Hermione that says there's no such thing as too many books. And that applies to myself not only because I love reading, but also because I start collecting very many journals at this point. So it just felt fitting, and also because most of it is black in the background, I thought it would fit the journal very well. So as a theme, if you will, for this setup, I don't usually do themes at the beginning of my journals for the first few pages that I need, but I always usually want to make it fit in with the cover itself. So I wanted to do something black and white, and I wanted to play with negative space. And for that purpose, I bought two new pens, very pricey pens. They are two Posca pens, and I got them in black and in white. And I've had lots of fun drawing with those because they are super opaque and they work really well, even though I tested them to their very limit for this setup. I wrote out 2023 Part 2, and 2023 is a very huge title. I just wrote out very big numbers and then drew a background for every other one. It's really hard to explain, really, but you can see what I'm doing. So there's a black background and white lettering for two numbers, which is the 23. And then for the O and the 2, or the 0 and the 2, I didn't add a background and just wrote out the numbers in black. I could have added a white background to them as well, but that, no. Just no. I also didn't write on top with the white pen for the white letters and just left them empty, and just went back in with the white pen in some spaces where I didn't keep inside the lines exactly. For the title page, I started off drawing out the numbers with my, I think, 08 Micron Fineliner. For the other spreads, I stopped doing that and just went in right away with the Posca pen. And yeah, it goes on much faster if I can speed it up this way, because drawing out those backgrounds took me a lifetime, I'm telling you. And I could have made it a lot easier and just added black paper as a background, but I had already penciled in everything in my journal beforehand, and I didn't want to lose all my sketches because they looked very nice and I had spaced everything out in the spaces that I wanted them to. So I went ahead and just drew black like a maniac. Anyway, you can enjoy the power of editing and see it in a very short amount of time. Alright, the next page that I'm setting up is my In This Journal page, which more or less works as my index. I don't use an index because I always have the same structure and the same system, so it's always just one month after the other, and I just want to have an overview of what months I kept in this journal, and I also use it as an overview of the themes that I did. I started off with the title. As I already mentioned, had already drawn everything out in pencil beforehand, so in order to not ruin what I had already drawn out, I tried to trace all the letters that I drew out with my pencil with the black pen, so that in the end I would have white writing left over at the end. And then, because this is very hard to get perfectly right, I went back in with my white Posca pen and traced the writing itself in the end. And that was really nice because I could finally write something properly. Yeah, drawing around letters isn't that much fun. I thought I might show you how I did my little sticker for the front, because I'm using another one for this spread. I printed it out and then by tape, and then I glued a piece of transparent tape to it, or sellotape, or adhesive transparent tape that I had lying around, and I cut it out again, but I left a little margin around the sticker so that it would have some space where it could actually stick to the paper in the end. And I also added some glue to the whole sticker in the back so that it would stick even better. That was a lot of sticking and a lot of taping. I hope that you could see what I was doing anyway. But that's the explanation. That's essentially also what I did for my cover. If your journal is as boring as mine and you want to decorate or personalize it yourself, this is how you make a sticker. Maybe it will be of some help to you. I continued on with drawing out those boxes dedicated for each month, and I didn't have my journal in the frame all the time. There's just space for each of the months that I'm going to use this journal for, with a little box for the theme that I'm going to add whenever I know what theme I will have done. Beautiful English grammar. Oh, and what I forgot to mention is this little top section where I did actually add some sort of index, but it's only for the first few pages. Little bit of a teaser of what you're going to see in this whole video. On to my future log, which I titled 2023/2024. For each of those pages, there's space for 1/2 month worth of little calendars. That will help me to keep track of dates that are further in the future and appointments that I want to keep track of. And I had lots of fun drawing black backgrounds again, as you can see. I did not, but well, that was self-inflicted pain. I cut out much of it because it's just me drawing out black. But anywho, on to the more fun stuff. I did very, very minimalistic calendars. Many people around me always tell me, just make stickers or something, or just print something out. I always like the look of having it written out myself. And the power of editing makes that easier for you as well, because with a snap, it's all done. And it didn't take any time at all. So I really only added the first 3 letters of each month and a line, and then all the mini calendars below that. And then I have space enough for writing down any kinds of appointments that are further in the future for months where I don't have the monthly setup yet. And that's all it for my future log. Next up is my monthly and weekly tasks page that I'm using for, who might have guessed, monthly and weekly tasks that I'm keeping track of. My cool title, as you can see, had the same process as the other titles. I added the very big black border at the top and added my writing to it in white. I also outlined everything beforehand with a black liner, added the whole background, and then went back in with my white Posca pen to actually write out everything properly and to make the letters spaced a little better, because they get a little wonky if you just draw around them and things don't turn out perfectly, as I mentioned beforehand. So just having this white Posca really saved lots of my writing. The page itself is divided into 3 sections, which are actually just 2, but I had to split up the weekly tasks into 2 different grids because they didn't fit next to each other in an A5 journal. They never do. And I don't want to put them vertically, so anyhow, that is why there's 2 on the bottom. And then the top one is just for monthly tasks, which is why it's a bit smaller, because there's only 6 months, but there's 25-ish weeks. Yeah, you can do the math. And as you can see, I represented all of the tasks I want to remember on a weekly or bi-weekly or monthly basis with those little icons. As you can see, one of them is a little vacuum cleaner for vacuuming, because I hate vacuuming and I don't do it as regularly as I should. I'm very glad that my husband does so, but this is also very nice to just keep track of things like that. Just a couple of weeks into the spread and it's really easy to see when I last did something. I differentiated between each month by highlighting them with my very light grey Tombow. So July, September and November are grey on the top grid, and they are also grey on the bottom. So they correlate with each other, which I guess is also pretty nice. I'm on to my last page for this setup, and that is a quote page, because that I didn't want to leave it empty and there weren't any other pages that I needed. So as I did for my last half-year setup last year, I just thought it would be cool to add a quote page. I took way longer with this one as in comparison to all the others, because it's the biggest one with the biggest background, and that was fun, I'm telling you. Have I told you often enough that drawing out black backgrounds really isn't the best idea? Oh my goodness. So anyway, I chose a cool quote that I found somewhere that says, "Someday is not a day of the week." And that again should remind me of pursuing my goals and making the best of my time, and not telling myself, oh, I will do that someday, but to actually get stuff done and to start tackling the things that are in front of me, and to not tell myself that I will do them eventually, but to set a date for it and to really go through. Anywho, that's the background for the spread and why I chose this quote. I think it's very motivating, to me at least. I started getting better and better to use the comparatively big felt tip to trace all of my writing. I feel like the letters look pretty good already. And with another flick, we are already done with all of the background, which in real time took me at least half an hour to fill out. Anyhow, so that I still love the way it looks, but if you want to recreate it, I highly recommend you use black paper and just stick it in. Start drawing out everything on that paper from the very start, and then you're safe. I added some very cool lines to accentuate that black and white negative space aspect, and that's it for this page and for my whole setup for the second half of 2023. I will give you a final flip through of all the pages I did today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more content from me. I hope that my July video will be out next week. I can't promise anything because I haven't even started filming yet, but I really want it to be out as soon as I can. Hopefully by the end of next week at the very latest. So keep an eye out for that, and again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!